Que pasa? It's your boy JB, son. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we got Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. I'm gonna have to give it to a Reverse Flash. This dude is hard to kill and fast AF. Like this dude got a hole blew through his head. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like Bruce Wayne's dad in the Flashpoint shot Reverse Flash in the head. The bullet went through, but this dude is so fast, he somehow outran death and was constantly vibrating so fast that it was some crazy stuff that didn't make a whole bunch of sense. But that's basically the DC universe and the whole Flash family. They basically just nerf logic. That's it. But I'm sorry, I like Dragon Ball Z, and they have a history of DC or the whole comics just doing anybody else dirty. We haven't forgot how mad people was about the Superman versus Goku. So we shall see if this is just going to be a recap of that. Don't forget to go over the death battle. Make sure you guys watch their video, like their video, subscribe to their channel. They put in a lot of work and get very analytical. Ooh, big SAT words. They've been getting very analytical with just going through the stats and making sure they're really basically making the match fair and open. They really go through the details to see who's the fastest, who's the strongest, who has the better technique, and who will basically win. So I think they're pretty fair. I like to think they're pretty fair. But it looks like this is going to be a chunky boy, a pretty nice thick video. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and without further ado, let's just get into it in 3, 2, 1. It's time for a death battle!
Goku Black, the body-stealing arbiter of divine justice.
And the Reverse Flash, DC's psychopathic speedster fanboy.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
But I'd say the sincerest form of flattery is not trying to kill your superhero husbando. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I'm sorry, but Flash is just
What consumes the thoughts of a god? What do immortals dream of with all the time in the world? In Zamasu's case, his one goal was divine justice.
Yeah, this guy's got major Final Fantasy big bad energy all over him.
As the assistant to Universe 10's Supreme Kai, Zamasu prized, above all else, cosmic order and natural beauty.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you know I can burp and fart at the same time? Here, let me try.
Unsurprisingly, Zamasu despised the inherently chaotic nature of mortals, being seemingly unwilling to lift themselves out of their own cycle of violence and stupidity, like some people I know.
Yeah, I know those people too. His heart was clouded.
That was sad.
Until the day he met Son Goku.
With God Ki, Goku could match blows with the god of destruction, Beerus. Their clash nearly destroyed the entirety of Universe 7, a cosmological structure at least 9 times larger than our own universe. At most, it could even be as large as 13 times greater than ours. Side note, it's worth mentioning that when 2 gods of destruction fought, they were capable of casually destroying 2 of these universes.
And since the shockwaves from their punches traveled across Universe 7 in seconds, they'd have to be hitting way faster than light.
Goku was tapping into his Super Saiyan God form for this, though clearly not at its full strength. While the exact multiplier for Super Saiyan Blue is unknown, Toriyama himself has directly compared it to the original Super Saiyan form.
And don't forget, Goku trained with Whis and fought in the tournament with Universe 6 before Zamasu caught up with him. So by that time, he was way stronger.
Here was a mortal with the powers of gods beyond even Zamasu's abilities. Someone who could bring his dreams to fruition.
So Sammy did what anyone would do in that situation. Kill his master to become the Supreme Kai, wish on the Super Dragon Balls to switch bodies with Goku, and kill every single mortal in the universe.
And thus the deity Zamasu became Goku Black.
Please, Goku Black, you couldn't be more creative?
No, you might be wondering, why didn't he just wish all the mortals dead? But that wouldn't be as fun, would it? Black's got all of Goku's strength and powers, but wielded by a genocidal maniac instead of that lovable goober of a monkey man.
And in keeping with Goku's Saiyan heritage and godly ki, Black can easily achieve the form of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
But with a painful twist.
Super Saiyan Rose.
Rose? Really? What is he, a suburban wine mom? Watch out before he unlocks Super Saiyan Live, Laugh, Love! He stole Goku's techniques too, like the instant transmission, where he focuses on a person's key signature to teleport to their location. He's even got the Black Kamehameha, which is a Kamehameha, but pink.
And with his Saiyan body, he gets stronger and stronger every time he almost dies. He just becomes harder and harder to kill.
Which really sucks for the rest of the universe, because Black is kind of like if Goku just snapped one day and used his powers to their full murderous potential.
Like the God Split Cut, where he surrounds his hands with a keyblade to slice you to ribbons. He used this very technique to, kill Goku's family.
He can even extend this keyblade into a huge curved one called the Azure Dragon Sword, which, along with his Kamehameha, confirms my suspicions that Goku is colorblind.
Actually, Black's Azure Dragon Sword is named after a legendary weapon wielded by one of Earth's greatest warriors, the Desert Bandit Yamcha. Wait, what?
And he can make a scythe and slice open space-time itself to create a bunch of shadow clones.
When was the last time
Black,
Yamcha was
Boy
relevant?
over here. But his most dastardly weapon isn't a key technique at all. It's the time ring he got from his dead master.
This ring allowed Black to travel through time and even escape into future Trunks' alternate timeline, where he had free reign over the entire universe.
And let him team up with his best bud, himself. Too bad Goku and company showed up to spoil the fun. But wait, isn't Zamasu in Goku's body? How are there two Gokus? There's only one Goku in the multiverse, right? But Goku met Black before he met Zamasu, which means Black existed before Zamasu came up with the idea. And then they killed Zamasu before he could do it anyway, but
It's Dragon Ball
Black was still
timeline.
around? What the hell is going
Don't
on?
think too much
Sure,
about
it's a
it.
classic grandfather's paradox. The thing is, Black's time ring prevents him from being affected by alterations to his own personal timeline. So, killing him in the past doesn't change his future, and vice versa. He's almost impossible to kill because even if you do it at one point in time, he still exists at another point in time. And another. And another.
What?
And another. And another.
Oh god, I hate time travel.
Yeah.
Black has crushed Saiyans like Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Hell, even Vegito couldn't beat him. He even merged with the universe to become one with everything. Like I said, major Final Fantasy villain vibes here.
It took Zeno, the Omni King, the most powerful being in all of creation, to step in and erase that entire timeline just to stop Black's rampage.
Okay, I forgot how
ironic.
mad
Zamasu's
strong
higher calling
this
was the
dude is.
eradication of all mortal life in the universe, and he stole the strongest mortal's body to do it. But in the end, he was always doomed to fail. His quest for power meant nothing against a being that would always be stronger no matter what he did or who he was.
Jeez.
And the universe ended up being destroyed anyway. It's like one big cosmic joke with no one left to laugh.
You've been running around making messes for too long, and now I'm going to choke the life from you. I can't wait to watch you die.
Jeez. Okay, the dub is different.
Barry
I
Allen,
only watch the
the
sub,
Flash,
but holy crap.
Ah!
is one of the greatest heroes in history, an inspiration to many across time and space. And there's no better example than his #1 fan from the 25th century, Eobard Thawne.
Alright, Wiz, we've tackled a lot of stupid names for things in our years here at Death Battle, but I'm confident that Eobard is the dumbest f***ing first name I've ever heard in my life. Eobard was completely obsessed with the Flash and dedicated his whole life to studying the Speed Force like a total nerd. Good luck to him, because there's no way he's figuring that shit out.
But Thawne's life irrevocably changed
Like,
the day he
apparently
discovered
the
a time
colors of the
capsule
Speed
from the
Force, like-
21st century. By some strange coincidence, it just so happened to contain Barry's costume. By experimenting on it, Thawne managed to replicate the Flash's powers, turning himself into a mirror of his idol.
And you can bet he totally crapped himself when Barry Senpai showed up in the future and took him under his wing. It was a dream come true.
Until Barry realized that Thawne had fabricated crimes in order to show up and save the day. Disgraced, Thawne promised to better himself before traveling to the past to prove his worth to his hero. to prove that their bond was special.
That's when Thawne found out that Barry already had a best friend, and a family, and a life. Without him, he didn't matter. He wasn't special. He was just a nobody Barry tossed out in the trash and forgot about. Like my Tinder dates do to me.
If only. When Thawne visited the Flash Museum in Barry's time, he discovered the secret identity to Flash's greatest enemy that in his future had been lost to time. The one Barry was fated to kill in battle. Eobard Thawne.
So Barry created his
Wait a
own.
minute. Oh, ain't that a bitch?
Venomous.
The shock
Arch
drove
Venomous.
Thawne mad. If he couldn't be Flash's best friend, he'd be his greatest enemy. And I guess also ensure his own future death.
He would travel
He's
from the future
obsessed
to
with
terrorize
Barry.
the Flash family in the past. Revenge in reverse.
Yeah, it's
He'd
freaky
become
now.
the Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash. We're really setting the world on fire with these names today, huh, Wiz?
Thawne draws his powers from the negative Speed Force, which he generates with every step he takes, just like Barry does with the regular Speed Force. The negative Speed Force gives Thawne access to many of the Flash's powers, including his mind-bending super speed, enough to travel all across time and space in days. He can keep up with and surpass other speedsters like Barry and Wally.
Who once ran fast enough to cross the universe faster than two gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still faster than that. Wait just a second, he beat himself? That doesn't even make sense.
But unlike Barry and Wally, Thawne applies his powers more catastrophically, using them to their full potential without any care for collateral. Take, for instance, his ability to vibrate himself through solid objects.
Objects like, say, vital organs. And if he did, he'd scramble their molecules, causing instant death. Thawne did just that to Barry's wife, Iris, and Barry did not appreciate it.
Thawne's vibrations are so powerful, he can even produce a counterforce that can reverse the destruction of the entire universe.
Pretty crazy sounding, but even B-tier speedsters like Jenny Ognats can do the same kind of thing. And when Barry and Wally raced each other, they were tearing up the entire multiverse.
Thawne can create shockwaves with a snap, phase into your body and possess you, and even speak
What?
at such high speeds that you'll hear his words as though they were your own thoughts.
What?
And instead of stealing your speed like other Flashes, he can steal your time.
Yeah, Thawne can yoink decades from your life and age
Wow.
you 80 years in just a few seconds. Kinda sounds like your sex life, huh, Wiz?
But Thawne's greatest ability is his unmatched skill at time travel, and he uses this expertise to be as petty and cruel as humanly possible.
Thawne wasn't a dummy. He knew that if he went back in time to kill Barry before he got his powers, he'd erase himself from the time stream too. So instead, he'd just make Barry's life suck as hard as he could, push him down some stairs, retcon his best friend from history, kill his mom. He even told Barry he'd go back in time and adopt him as his own son. Dude, what the fuck?
That's another big
Jesus.
difference between Thawne and Barry.
This dude
Whereas
is
Barry only
messed
went back
up.
in time to save his mother's life, Thawne often went back in time to try to fix his own mediocre life. He killed his more successful younger brother, his career rival at the Flash Museum, and every single boyfriend his crush had until there was no one left but him.
And when she still rejected him, he went back in time again and made her an invalid for the rest of her life. Jesus
Wow.
Christ! This guy's a monster. But wait, Wiz, that's
Holy.
impossible. Grandpappy Paradox or whatever. If he went back in time to kill someone, they'd be dead in the future, which means...
Which means he'd never know them and want to go back in time in the first place, right?
Wiz, maybe time is a construct with no legitimate unit of measurement other than the meager attempts man has made to understand the incomprehensible world around him.
Well,
That's pretty
actually,
smart.
Thawne was just inside the time stream when Barry initiated Flashpoint, which rewrote the universe while Thawne was technically disconnected from it.
This
So
is
Thawne essentially broke. Literally, figuratively, mentally, physically, temporally.
Or maybe he just hated Barry so much it defied the laws of time itself. Whoa!
More specifically, he became a living paradox, a being without a past or future, literally without continuity. Not only did this mean he'd be unaffected by changes to his past, it made him effectively immortal.
Stabbed in the chest by evil Batman, vaporized by Iris in some sweet, sweet payback, or getting Dr. Manhattaned by the big blue god dong himself.
Oh,
Thawne
yeah,
was
I
always
remember that.
reborn, unable to stay dead.
But more than anything, it made him immune from consequences.
Unlike Barry, whose changes to time could destroy all of reality,
Yep.
Thawne could do
Gotta be killed
whatever
by
he
Dr.
wanted.
Manhattan.
He was impossible to stop, with no reason to hold back.
He's survived a hit from Barry while he had the entire Speed Force absorbed into him, and even Wally's infinite mass punch, which has the mass of a white dwarf star. A white dwarf is
Jesus.
essentially the remains of a star's ultra-dense core, which has a mass of over 2 octillion tons.
And he took one of those to the noggin and just took a nap. Man, he must really hate Barry if a sun to the face can't take him down.
But he
strong is
doesn't
this
hate
man?
Barry. All of his schemes, all of his machinations, all of his insane timeline-shattering threats, all of it was because it was the only way he could think of to spend time with his hero.
That's really sad.
His costume says it
That's
all. He
messed
never
up.
intended to be the Reverse Flash. He wanted to be the Kid Flash. All Thawne ever really desired was to be by Barry's side.
In the end, though, goody little Two Shoes Barry forgave him, and then vibrated away his living paradox powers, erasing him from existence.
Though not entirely.
Ooh.
Barry didn't kill
Got
Thawne.
him.
He reset his timeline, removing the one thing driving his hatred, his relationship with Barry. Without that, Thawne was a normal, happy Flash fan once again.
It's Comics Wiz, he'll be back. And when
Yeah.
he does, there'll be no running. He'll always be faster. He'll always catch you. And time is always on his side.
Still think you can take me? Even death can't catch me.
Ooh, that is facts, yo.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, let me tell you how to reverse things in
I
the
still have to
bedroom in
go
a
reverse
flash.
flash.
With Blue Chew.
That's cute.
It was me, Barry. I was the one.
Yo, that video, if you guys know where that video is from, like, that was so stupid. I went back in time to jerk you off. It was with the crust to make it seem like you came at a woman's touch. I was like, yo, I can see him doing that.
Mortals, sinners, prepare for divine justice!
My man really comes in killing people drinking tea. Oh, wow.
Oops.
Oh, yeah, he can't
Excuse me,
fly.
sir. I'm in need of your services.
Wow.
Stand still and face your judgment, mortal!
Okay.
What do you think of this color? Is it not beautiful?
Oh, wow. Oh, he put it in works. I don't know. Black Mom won this. Is he gonna destroy the planet?
Incoming genius. I'll end this fight before it even began. Death in reverse.
Magnificent!
I remember there was a thing.
Mortals, sinners, prepare for divine!
Oh, God. No. What?
Why aren't you dead?
Is this gonna be a tie? He's chomping this man.
Oh shit!
This man just said, oh shit. What is going on? Wow!
To stand atop all things and look down upon creation itself. That is the work of a god!
Empty threats to a living paradox!
Damn! Holy crap! What is going on?
How truly foolish.
Sorry, was that important?
Oh! Wow, he gave him the finger! Wow! Jeez! Wow!
How fun.
You know, we've sent enough people to that sun, we really should have a timeshare.
This was a fairly tricky matchup to figure out, least of all for their incredible levels of power.
That could destroy a universe like ours at least 660 times over. I mean, a punch at least as big as a star is really badass, but that's in another league.
However, there was a lot more to cover than just how many stars or universes they could blow up. At their peak, both Goku Black and Reverse Flash were so impressive they were removed from time itself, becoming living paradoxes, making any attempt to kill either of them meaningless.
Stupid time travel.
It's difficult to determine who would figure out a counter to this temporal invincibility first, but it would most likely rely on a combination of speed and smarts.
As far as speed goes, it's no surprise Thawne definitely had the edge. Yeah, Black's attacks could reach speeds quintillions of times faster than light, but Thawne is a Flash.
Even early in his career as a member of the Flash family, Wally West could reach speeds that were impossible to comprehend and calculate. There are numerous examples of this for multiple iterations of the Flash, many of whom Thawne was clearly equal to.
Plus, he's kind of an expert when it comes to timey-wimey bullshit.
And he could likely overpower Black and destroy said time ring too. After all, Thawne once generated enough energy to counter the destruction of the entire DC universe, which is stated in comics to be at least 100 trillion light years in diameter. That's over 1 billion times larger than our own universe, and over 70 million times larger than Dragon Ball's Universe 7.
It's sort of impossible to lock down the exact limits of Goku Black's upper strength without getting into lots of assumptions and guesswork. He's obviously stronger than Goku was when he clashed with Beerus, but even being super generous with training and power boosts and multipliers, the gap here is way too wide to be able to just assume Goku Black could match this level of power. The DC universe is just too big. And remember, Barry and Wally's race almost ripped apart the entire DC multiverse.
It's also important to stress that Goku Black is not Goku. Goku's drive and willpower can push through even the most absurd limits to potentially match higher levels of power. Zamasu took Goku's body because he's more than willing to take shortcuts. It's an entirely different mindset.
Yeah, and once he took care of that time ring, Reverse Flash had a lot more options than just overpowering Black. With that super speed, he could pretty easily scramble Black's insides or age him to death with a touch. Zamasu may have been a deity even without the time ring, but Goku's body is mortal with a limited range of age. Might have really screwed yourself with that one, huh, Zam Zam?
Goku Black was a nightmarish foe, but Thawne's experience with time travel, ridiculous levels of hacks, and frankly impossible speed gave him the means to take the win.
This fight was definitely not underwhelming.
The winner is the Reverse Flash.
So basically, he had. Yeah, I mean,
I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Death Battle. If you're looking for something else to watch, Season 2 of Last Laugh is available right now on Rooster Teeth. It's a show all about contestants trying to make each other laugh, but everyone trying their hardest not to. If you laugh, you're out. Watch the first episode right now by clicking the video on the side.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah! Alright. Kool-Aid Man. What's his name? Macho Man.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah!
Alright, this probably would. I might watch that. I might react to that. That seems like one of more of a filler episode. Bruh, okay. So I guessed correctly. I did say Flash. I don't know why they keep putting Dragon Ball against DC. It just never freaking works, bruh. So messed up. But Jesus, this was a crazy fight. Like, I'm honestly, like, if they would have been like, oh, it's a tie, I could believe that. Because basically both Goku and the Reverse Flash were just crazy OP for, like, just to the point where nothing made sense. They could literally just make stuff up and then be like, yeah, that works. But dang, Reverse Flash drugged that man on the ground and just grinded him around the earth multiple times. That was brutal. That was real brutal. But that was a good video. Don't forget, guys, go to Death Battle. Make sure you watch their stuff first, like their stuff, subscribe to their channel, then come back to this channel, watch this. You probably already watched it. So just go ahead, subscribe, and leave a little comment down below, letting me know what you guys want me to react to next. Well, that's it. Without further ado, I say peace and see y'all in the next video.